Okay, for this project you're going to be making a paper weaving, but you're going to be using magazine pictures. So first you're going to look through the magazines and you're going to find 2 pictures, and they need to connect somehow. So whether that's subject matter, the colors are similar, it's 2 things you like, whatever, they just need to connect somehow. And for mine I chose faces. And try and find one that's darker and then one that's lighter, so when your weaving is done it'll have some contrast. And so the first thing you need to do is you need to get them the same size. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm just going to lay it each one on top and cut it to make it easier. So you don't have to measure it, you can just eyeball it. Okay, so after you've cut it so they're both equal, you need to choose which one you're going to use for your warp and which one you're going to use for your weft. For me, I think I'm going to choose this one to do my warp strings on. So the first thing, fold it in half, and then cut strips, but remember, leave the top uncut, so you're not going to cut through it. And you can do just straight cuts. If you want to do zigzags, you can. If you want to do waves, that'll make it a little more interesting. It might be a little bit more difficult, but I will leave that up to you. Alright, so now that I have my warp set, now I'm going to take this picture, the second one, and I'm going to cut it into strips horizontally. And I'm going to cut all the way through on these. And for this part, you need to remember to keep them in order, otherwise it won't look like whatever picture you started with. So you want it to look like, in this case, a face. I want to be able to see her face the way it is in the finished weaving. Oops. Okay. Alright, so now that I have my cut strips, I'm going to start with a plain weave. A plain weave means you're just going to go over one and under one. So, see? For my first strip, you're going to go over one and under one. Over one and under one. It's called a plain weave. Right, and then you want to push it all the way up to the top and make sure it's in there tightly. And then start with the second one. And this time you're going to alternate. You're going to start under one and then over one. If you want, this might make it a little easier, you can glue the edges down as you go. If you think you might mess up, which I tend to do, I would probably wait to glue it till I'm done. It'll make it a little bit more difficult, but that way if you mess up you can fix it. Then when you get your second one, push it all the way up to the top. and it'll take a little bit of patience to make sure that it's up there pretty tight up next to the first strip. Alright, and then you just keep going all the way until you get to the bottom.